Welcome back to the Timechasers Trackmania Challenger series. We'll be starting our third match of the group stages on the mainstream. It will be Team No Clue against Ascended Soldiers. Before we're starting off, we'll have a small introduction to the players and see how they did in the qualifiers. Team No Clue consists of Javzo, Turbo, and Devos, also who is one of the casters of the main event. Against Ascended Soldiers consisting Sightorld, Olcon, and Nixotica. We see according to the results that the teams are very even. Even though having Team No Clue having a bit more upper hand on the tech side, but Ascended Soldiers having very good performance on the full speed and then they are a bit better, even though the No Clue has a full speed player in their lineup. In the qualifiers, we did see that Olcon on the maps he played with a very good performance, with helping the team help reach to the group stages. Ascended Soldiers did place 19 in the qualifier, or very close to the barrier of entry. But you can see that the dirt was not the best, since Nixotica played with the keyboard and did not manage to set one of the better times. And from what I have heard, that Nixotica might not be playing today, so we might see Sightorld and Olcon opting in for Ascended Soldiers in this match. Against No Clue, of course, Javzo setting a top 10 time on the tech map, setting a low 38 in the qualifiers. Dirt did not go that well, being the worst map, but still still better than how it went for Ascended Soldiers. And on full speed mini RPG and Adio, the consistency was fairly consistent. Full speed not being the best, but mini RPG and Adio being a bit better performance-wise. I believe we'll be seeing that the match will be starting in just a few briefs, so stay tuned. Alright, we're gonna be starting off the very first warm-ups on the next match that will be coming up again. It will be gonna be Team No Clue against Ascended Soldiers. Both teams consisting of a fairly, let's say, mixed nationality-wise lineups. No Clue being a bit more Central European, meanwhile Ascended Soldiers being a bit more, let's say, all over the place, having a player from Russia, United States, and Czech Republic or Czechia. Having also very interesting lineups. We haven't really seen that all of these players being, let's say, put together in one team, or would you ever imagine these players playing together. So this is a very nice opportunity for them to collaborate and put their skills together in this event. We'll have one more warm-up and they'll be starting off the tech map. from what I have heard, that Javzo won't be able to help Team No Clue in this match or in today. So both of their matches that are planned today for Team No Clue, Javzo, who was a very key member of the team, won't be sadly able to help in the first 2 matches for Team No Clue. So it looks like either Turbo or Devos will be stepping in on those maps, which is very unfortunate for them. But I think same as the other team has a small disadvantage, being Nixotica is gonna be playing on keyboard instead of pad. So let's see what will happen today. Anyway, we're starting our first match. It's gonna be Turbo against Sightorld on the tech map. Sightorld as well, being a bit more prepared on this map, already has a pretty big advantage on starting off after the very few turns, already being 0.2, but having a bit more shaky line entry in the first few turns. Oh no, he bonks, and that will give up 3 points. Free round, kinda, if as long as Turbo can maintain his position on this round, having a bit more shaky lines and not being that fast proportional, but potentially can Sightorld also cat up. Oh no, yes, that's not a good way to cat up, and this will be, looks like it's gonna be 3 points starting off for Team No Clue. Not that great times in this round. Turbo a bit saving quite a bit, Sightorld having the small bonk at the start, so we're not seeing that insane pace as we saw in the last 2 matches. But we see that Sightorld is already again in the lead, but having a bit of inconsistencies in the latter part of the map did bit drag him down, but he can maintain it here, and looks like Turbo is a bit pushing it in the mid part already, caught up to the Sightorld, but Sightorld has a bit more exit speed in this part and can maintain him, and then Sightorld goes for the very awkwardly risky outside line that did not pay off, but he still maintains his lead. And Turbo is a bit pushing into the inside line, even though he's catching up, and it's gonna be a point for Sightorld. One on the tech map. Both of the players are not setting the fastest times, they're still trying to work on and play on others' mistakes. Saying that Sightorld didn't have the best starts, meanwhile Turbo had a bit better, but he maintaining, saving up with a bit more inside line there. Managed to squeeze him back in the front of the first part of the map. Still maintaining, Turbo trying to go for the tag, but didn't work that well. Getting a small airtime there. Oh no, and he clips in the inside barrier, and as long as Sightorld manages to finish this round, this will be a 3 point for Team Ascended Soldiers. Round 4 on the tech map. Sightorld being in front of Turbo might give a bit of confidence that they can take this map, especially when Javzo is not playing, who probably was a massive threat in potentially, but Turbo making a mistake does give also kind of free round opportunity for Ascended Soldiers, but it looks like Sightorld saves quite a bit trying to, oh no, he gets a nose slide. That will give a chance for for Turbo to catch up, since the acceleration penalty did kick in, and it's already 0.5, and Sightorld doesn't have the biggest amount of speed, so Turbo can potentially catch this up if it can happen, even making the mistake already 0.4, but then anything can still happen if he pushes the end, another player mistakes. Oh no, Sightorld saves it quite a bit and still maintains a 0.3 gap, and it will be a point for Ascended Soldiers, and it's gonna be 3-1 on the board. Starting off in the next round, it's gonna be Sightorld again, taking a small lead, but probably that comes from a bit of the preparedness on this map, since Turbo was not originally planned to play this map, but since he's opting in for Javzo. Sightorld using that fact to his advantage already, and is in a big lead, but caster score strikes, and Sightorld makes a minor mistake, and that gives an opportunity for Turbo to cash in a point for his team, trying to save up, trying to be a very good substitute for Javzo in this 1v1. Sightorld going for the stride tricks and sadly those don't matter, but this will be a point for No Clue and Locker's Turbo. Turbo going very safe on the entry, trying to avoid the walls as he can, thus losing a bit of time. Sightorld going for the tighter approaches, already giving a small advantage on the very first few turns, and already 0.3 ahead. But we have seen that Sightorld is not very consistent, and he saves quite a bit in that small internal section, and he clips the side of the road, trying to push it a bit, and that will give up free keys for Turbo to unlock another round win. Turbo again saving quite a bit, but Sightorld's mistake is very unfortunate since he's all the time ahead, but not having the best performance in the middle part of the map. Probably comes from the bit of a lack of competition experience, since I have not really seen Sightorld competing in many events, mostly this one being one of his first ones, so some lack of competition experience might play a role there. Again, Sightorld being ahead of the start as always, as every single round. But can he maintain his middle part? This has never been really good. Mostly has and oh no, Locker's Turbo actually now touching a wall a bit. Sightorld actually makes to the mid part as well, decently risks it quite a bit to the inside wall there. Oh no, he did release there, trying to save it as he can since 1 second gap already, and Turbo hits the wall a bit. That will secure just a round win for Sightorld. Already map point for Ascended Soldiers. Sightorld just needs to... Yep. And yeah, this is not a very good start for Turbo in this round. And as long as Sightorld can still maintain this, just as long as he can avoid the walls and clip the side of roads, this should be a map win for Ascended Soldiers. A bit of an anticlimactic, but as long as it's a very important skill to play on other people's mistakes, and he clearly did that, and that results in the first map win going for Ascended Soldiers. First map ending in 3-5 for Ascended Soldiers does give a confidence entering this map for the team, especially when their key tech player was not participating in this match. That will give a big chance, since on paper tech was the best map for No Clue, but that will make their time a bit harder trying to come back, making a comeback in this match. And it looks like Nixotica will be playing as well. Heard that he had some pad issues, so he will be switching. He switched his devices to keyboard. That has been not the most comfortable for him. Turbo has been. I have seen Turbo preparing this map since this was one of his main maps. Turbo originally planning to play just RPG and Dirt, so this will be his sphere of area. Let's just say it like that. But Nixotica is not in this primarily shape, so it's let's see what will happen. It might come out as intimidating when starting off this match for Turbo, but let's see. I don't think he knows that Nixotica is playing. He's not original device, so he might seem that there's a big name against him, but let's see. Last few seconds of the warm-up, and we'll be starting off the dirt map on this match. No Clue against Ascended Soldiers. At the moment it's 1-0 for Ascended Soldiers being in front. But let's see on this time we actually have the right players who were the most prepared on each map playing, so we'll see a proper 1v1 matchup. Both players are being trained for this. We see that Nixotica is already in the league. Turbo getting a bit more shaky line. Nixotica risks with the outside approach for going for the outsides for the more exit speed, and it does pay off. Look, Turbo is very shaky both in game and his gameplay wise, and that will give a small, let's say, a chance for Nixotica to pull up more ahead. Oh, he actually did risk there quite a bit well, and that's a round win for Ascended Soldiers. Not of the fastest times, but it was enough to take a point from Turbo. Very shaky gameplay from Turbo at the moment. I have seen that he has been pretty regular with 38 when he was practicing, and maybe he will pull off his jump cut, as we see that Nixotica does collide with the wall at the very start of the map, which will not be very good news. And this will be one of the key factors that he's playing with not his preferred input device, so that might throw him off, as well as we see that Turbo touches the wall even being so far ahead, and that will give Nixotica a chance to get the round win as well in this round. Unless he doesn't collide with the wall or miss or finish or something like that happens, and that's gonna be a free point for Nixotica. Round 3, 2-0 on the dirt map for Ascended Soldiers. A bit unexpected result, to be honest, considering that we had the circumstances of Nixotica not being the best in his most ideal shape on this match, and Turbo being pretty prepared on this. But maybe Turbo can potentially fight back some points and potentially get a map win. We see that this round has been a lot more closer, both players being very inside, Turbo getting a bit more outside line, trying to save it a bit more. But that gives just a more chance for Nixotica to pull away. Turbo gets a bit more outside line, and it looks like Nixotica risked it, and finally we have a decent round, 38.6 being the winning time, and both players managing to set a 38 time, but sadly Nixotica will be ahead, unlucky for Turbo, and that will put 3-0 for Ascended Soldiers. Starting off this round, we see that Nixotica again is in the lead again over Turbo, but Turbo having a bit more exit speed from the dirt uphill, thus making them equal on this turn. But it comes down to Turbo has made mistakes, and that will be enough. And Nixotica does handle it a lot better, and that will give a chance for Nixotica to pull away in this dirt part. Nixotica actually been pretty consistent, not counting the very first round when he did few make mistakes, and again he sets a 38 time, beating Turbo in this match, and that gives him a chance to get map points in the next round. Turbo needs some kind of reverse sweep, or he needs to start driving like crazy in this round. Lucky for him, Nixotica goes for an awkward outside line, no idea what happened there, and yeah, that was very weird, seeing that something like that happened. Very weird line, but that kind of ruins the round for Nixotica mentally and gives a kind of free chance for Turbo to get a point on the dirt map in this matchup. Nixotica being 3 seconds behind can still catch up potentially if Turbo makes another mistake or misses the finish or something like that, but it doesn't seem like it, and this will be finally a point on the dirt map for Turbo. Not setting the fastest time, but still maintaining the consistency in the round that will result him in the point. Turbo still needs to win 4 rounds in a row and not let Nixotica win a round to potentially get a point for Team No Clue in this match. And he's actually in the lead in this round. Nixotica collides with the wall again, throwing his chances on getting the map win in this matchup. Turbo being ahead by 0.4. Even though Nixotica made mistake, oh, very shaky line from Turbo, and Nixotica perfectly executes that turn, putting both players now even. When coming up to the ending section, Nixotica keeping more speed goes for the mid line to keep more speed, but Turbo is very close and Nixotica needs to push it in the lane, but no! Turbo pushes it as well, and it's a very good round that goes for Turbo. Not the fastest times, but since most made mistakes, but a very nice last part of the section, last sectors of the map, that's putting around really close and putting a nice race next to it. Looks like we're entering a reverse sweep territory. Turbo winning last 2 rounds in a row, putting Nixotica on the 4 points, sitting on 4 points for the last 2 rounds. And Nixotica just needs to finish 1 round in first place, and he will secure a map win for his team on the dirt map. Lookers Turbo having a very shaky line on the. It has been a very troubling line for most players, so let's say it like that, and getting a gear down here as well gives just increases the gap for Nixotica, and that will be a GG for Ascended Soldiers on the dirt map. Bit unlucky for Turbo that his performance was not at his peak, but Nixotica has managed to play with that and made it 5-2 for his team. Now we're gonna be coming up on the full speed map. I think we're gonna be seeing Elcon and Devos playing this one. Devos being the full speed player playing in FSL as well for Team Rewalls, if I can recall correctly, and Elcon being a solo competition player with playing with multiple styles, having a very good experience gathering and showing as well, hunting some times from the local campaign and track of the days, showing that he can show his skills in multiple different kind of map styles. And full speed was as well, where he set the best qualifying position on this map for his team, was increasing their chances for qualifying. That also helped out quite a bit. Elcon getting 7th place in the qualifier for Ascended Soldiers, that's helping out them making in the group stages in this competition. Devos meanwhile was placed 15th, with which is a decent result, but Elcon is still in a small upper hand here. But it will be very hard for Team No Clue to make a small comeback on this map, since they need to win this map if they want to move on to Mini RPG and Adio, since this will be the last map for Ascended Soldiers if they don't manage to squeeze a map win. To give a small introduction to the event, this is a Timechasers Trackmania Challenger Series, a team-based 1v1 competition on tech, dirt, full speed mini RPG and Adio maps. We have a 500 euro prize pool, but you can contribute to the prize pool by getting the special item that will help benefit the prize pool as well as contributing. Anyway, small ad break over. Now we're coming in the full speed map. We're coming Elcon against Devos. Elcon having a bit more upper hands in the first few turns, but it all comes down to speed slides, as we saw the last time where Christian managed to just win on Bings, just having a very good speed slides even though not having the best opening starts of the map. And looks like Devos is actually not going for speed slides. Elcon having a smaller ones, but doesn't seem like he risks it that much, but he goes for here, and Elcon managed to get more exit speed from the quarter loop, and actually both teams setting pretty decent times, 38.5 and 0.7 in the round. That's pretty solid. If we can see 38.6 and lower, those are really good times, especially for round setting. So we'll see, but this will be opening point for Ascended Soldiers. That's giving them a bit of confidence, since they need to win this map to secure the map win. But Devos can still challenge them. So the match continues on the mini RPG. Elcon having a bit better start, just by 0.07 over over Devos. Devos not having the best performance in this first round. Having a very nice SD there, but the Elcon is already miles ahead. And as long as Elcon can manage to reach the risky finish, then this should be fine. And yes, it is. 38.3. That's a very, very good time by Elcon right there. I believe that is like top 10 potential time-wise, and that's a very, very fast round there for Elcon. I believe that time probably must have quite intimidated Devos there. Because setting a 0.3 in match makes you shake a bit, let's just say it like that. And we can see that already. Devos making it, trying to push it, trying to risk it, seeing those fast times from Elcon, trying to risk it a bit on the inside line, and he does make a minor mistake. Meanwhile, Elcon going in the first place, trying to going for the SDs as well. But he just needs to secure and finish this round to secure a point on the full speed. And as well in a pretty decent time as well on top of that. And that will be third point for us and the soldiers. Round 4 on the full speed map. Elcon actually makes a small mistake and Devos as well. Bit sad for Devos there, since this was the round where Elcon did make a mistake at the start, but full on stop pick at the checkpoint, sadly, was not the most expected, let's just say it like that. And this will be another chance for Elcon to cash in the crash from his opponent to secure a point in this matchup. Sadly, a bit not very many inconsistencies from Team Noclo in this match. But yeah, winning time 41.007. Did not expect that, but since most players had the massive mistake at the start, that's pretty, yeah. Now come on top of that, now we have map points and even match points for Ascended Soldiers. Now Devos really needs to pull in the reverse sweep if he wants to make something happen. Devos now being in the lead, trying to maintain his position, goes for the safe line, trying to not risk it too much with the inside line. That allows Elcon to catch up quite a bit. Now it all comes down to SDs. Elcon goes for a bit outside line for this speed, but does manage to maintain it for a bit longer, just giving a bit more speed. But Devos goes for the inside line on. Looks like Elcon does do better, but looks like tiny bit has more speed, but looks like as long as Devos can finish it properly, and Elcon crashes this finish it! And Devos starts playing the Space Station Simulator and plays the wrong game, and that will be a free match point for Elcon. Looks like Devos is not really, doesn't have the experience from that and how to play in these kind of situations. He pointlessly risked the end, and sadly that gave the match away to Ascended Soldiers. Very unfortunate right there, but that's game. Let's just say it like that. Very unlucky for Devos right there. Sadly, we won't be playing the mini RPG since it's gonna be 3-0. Ascended Soldiers managed to 3-0 the very first 3 maps, so sadly we won't be playing the last 2 maps. Which is very unfortunate for Team Noclo, since that was the last 2 maps that were on their stronger side.